Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I'll be checking out 2 tracks off of Fit for a King's album The Hell We Create, which came out in October of this year. I'm a little late getting 2 tracks that I haven't checked out on the album, but I did some of the singles on the channel. Fit for a King is a band I'm very familiar with. I'm looking forward to hearing some of the non-singles. I hope there are a couple that stick with me more than the singles have, but I've been liking these more than I enjoyed the singles that were released off the path. So I'm hopeful. I will link the 2 music videos or lyric videos, whatever they are, visualizers that I'm using in this reaction in the description. I'll be doing Eyes Roll Back and Reaching Out. Those are the 2 tracks I'll be doing, obviously, as you probably already know. So all that being said, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. We start with Eyes Rolled Back because that is what comes first on the album. All right, Ryan. All right, Trey.
I feel it again and again. Learning me to the other side. Eternal darkness calling up for me. Tormenting my order to chaos. Practicing pain in every time. Oh God, I'm scared and I'll never lie.
I really like this.
Empty, the devil is here! The horrors of me in the side await the day to become to life. With every labored breath I bring myself closer to death. The horrors of me in the side await the day to become to life. I can't take my way out.
I like that better than any of the singles that I've heard. Reaching Out.
I know it can get easier dealing with the pain.
Oh.
Watching through the window as the light begins to fade. Reaching
Yeah, use those tuck vocals.
to take it all it can get easier. Just wish it was today.
I see you lost in the darkness.
Oh.
Your body's breaking down, so afraid and tormented. Legs are around the ground. Another set of
Why not both?
left stranded, somewhere in the air, fighting short-handed. Don't let the shadow take the light. I know it can get easier, dealing with the pain, watching through the window as the light begins to fade.
Oh.
Reaching out to someone to take it all away. I know it can get easier. Just wish it was today. Left to live in a cell, so hollow.
Those harmonies.
With the grief, the bitter sting of rejection. Forsaken, a detriment to the healing. Another sad affair, a martyr left stranded.
there we go.
Somewhere in the air, fighting short-handed. Don't let the shadow take the light. I know it can get easier.
Oh, we just did the chorus? Okay.
Watching through the window as the light begins to fade. Reaching out to someone to take it all away. I know it can get easier. Just wish it was today.
Oh. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, with that ambient shit. Yep.
I know it can get easier, dealing with the pain, watching through the window as the light begins to fade, reaching out to someone to take it all away. I know it can get easier.
Wow, these two songs are so different.
Just wish it was
It worked out well.
today.
Fit for a King, Eyes Roll Back, and Reaching Out. Let's discuss. I'm glad I ended up with these two tracks for this video because they are so different from each other, and I enjoy both of these songs much more than any of the singles that I heard. I think these two will go on to the playlist and probably stay there, and there are still, I believe, two or three other tracks on the album I haven't heard yet that I still need to listen to, but I just picked two to make a video for, and it seems like these two are good tracks to have picked. With Eyes Roll Back, it felt like, you know, I'm gonna talk a little bit. I won't rant too much, but when God of Fire came out, it was like conflicting because it felt like on paper I should enjoy the song, but for me it just did not stick very. Like I enjoyed it, like listening to it for the first time and stuff, but it didn't really stick for me. It didn't have anything that really like grabbed me and pulled me in. And this track with Eyes Roll Back, I mean, it felt like the equivalent of approaching that song, but then like having a completely different outcome for me. This one I vibe with much more because for a number of reasons. I think it's got to do with like having a lot of that atmosphere present, a lot less of the repetition, I guess, like in the same way. There's still repetition here, of course, and that's part of songwriting as well, and I'm very aware of that, but I think like there was just something with it. But with this song, the repetition that you get, like oh God, I think it said something about I'll never learn. I've only heard the song one time, so don't come at me for not knowing the lyrics yet, but that is completely different to me. I love stuff like that. It's got a lot more to do with, I think, what's in between the repetition, and here there's just a lot beyond that, really. So I guess I'm like explaining two different things. One would be a song that has the amount of repetition that God of Fire does wouldn't automatically like be off the table. I think it's got a lot to do with like the atmosphere in the song, the things that have to do with my taste, for it to go on the playlist on repeat, that sort of thing. And with this track, while it's extremely heavy, it's got some of that like, panic feel at the end with that riff. It has the sort of rap-paced screaming from Ryan that I think is really unique to his vocals are unique anyhow, but I think when he does stuff like that, especially because there are two different styles that I really felt like I was hearing in this song, when he does stuff like that, I think it's even more showcased. But you also have some screams here that are, reminiscent of their discography to me, and it feels like a lot of their sound kind of wrapped up into a song, and I love the way that it has come out. It just has a much different feel to me. Some of the lyrics, like, now I'm not going to be able to remember because I put myself on the spot, but it feels like a very intentioned song. Sometimes the heaviest track that you get from a band or like on an album or whatever, and this is the heaviest one that I've heard so far, so usually that's not my favorite on an album lately, not for Fit for a King, just in general. Like, I'll find myself more drawn to a song like Reaching Out, which I will get to talking about rather soon here, so I'm not making like a 15-minute outro, but while I love that song, I think I actually might prefer Eyes Roll Back right now, but Reaching Out's chorus is going to be like one of my favorite things, and that may be something that grows on me more and more. When you start out loving something and there's potential for it to grow on you more, I feel like that might end up changing. Reaching Out might end up taking the lead. But after one listen to both songs, I would say Eyes Roll Back like had my attention more because like it has that deep like groove, and Trey really like in both songs, I think this showcases his ability to kind of drive a track, if that makes sense. Reaching Out more so because on a heavy track, like, I think everything really drives that song. Ryan's performance drives that song. Everybody. I'm not going to name everybody in their thing, but everybody's performance kind of like... But if you isolate sort of what Trey was doing, it was perfect for that song, perfect fit for the band. And then Reaching Out, it was like, as soon as that first drop comes in and the song really kicks in, just his ability to... I don't know how to properly even word it, but a great fit for the band, I think, and these two songs really showcase two different styles. Reaching Out, like the ability to drive like a slower track like that, and with Invent Animate, they're more of like an ambient band, and they have parts of the song where it really slows down, and now with Marcus too expanding on his singing and stuff, Trey really effortlessly can go from like blast beats and sort of Eyes Roll Back type of stuff to something more melodic or ambient sounding. So I think it's a really good fit, and neat to hear him in the context of Fit for a King rather than the project I've been listening to so much for so long, Anyway, and with Reaching Out, really, if you focus in the chorus, also to touch on that chorus, I love it. The variation of the chorus, like the progression of the chorus throughout the song. It starts off with, stripped back, really like a slow kind of move forward of the song. And throughout the track, the chorus progresses and becomes, so the last time that you hear it, it's just like this full version of it, but each time it's really beautiful. Tuck's vocals are phenomenal, and I love that I'm hearing them again here. So yeah, I love the difference between the tracks as well. But anyway, what I was gonna say was, if you pay attention to that chorus and like the snare and the kicks during the chorus, that's really what I'm talking about when I'm like driving a song sort of with those vocals. Of course, that was a huge factor for me loving the chorus, but what I'm referencing with Trey more is what I'm talking about here. So now that I'm talking about Reaching Out, that song I also love and will go right onto my playlist. For one, what I just talked about with the chorus, huge I don't know what you call like those details that are like things that just make you love an album or like a song or whatever so much more, that are like fine details like that, like having the stripped back chorus as that intro and the way it progresses. Things like that play a big part for me. I love stuff like that. So for me, that was huge, but also the breakdown having that ambient feel to it, and it almost felt too short for me, but then as it like explodes into that, you know, that next section in the last chorus, I really didn't mind anymore. It was such a brief moment of hey, and like then I did not care. So nothing I would want different with Reaching Out, especially following the path with, sorry, I keep losing my voice as I'm talking, and it's very difficult, and I don't want to keep restarting my outro, so I'm gonna just keep it moving. Anyway, I think even more so coming into this after the path and sort of having expectations like, all right, I didn't really vibe with the last album. It's very possible that this one won't hit for me in the same way it might for other people. So it's good to go into an album with those expectations sometimes, especially if something before you had very high expectations for them, and then because of that, like you couldn't enjoy it as much. So going in with that mindset, these were, my expectations had been a bit lowered for my taste. Again, that's not to say that I think that The Path is a bad album or anything. I think for me, it just, and I talked about that as well, and I think maybe it was The Path videos, or maybe it was a stream afterwards, or maybe it was even one of these newer songs. But for me, I had such high expectations going into The Path that I didn't really have the thought of like, oh, this might be something like different that I might not vibe with as much. So it caught me off guard, and this time I was ready, and I was caught off guard in a different way, in a much better way. So it was good to do that, and I'm not saying I just do that with Fit for a King either. I think it's good to be open to changes for a band too, and that you might not be into them sometimes. But that, again, this is an example of they may make something that doesn't set for you, and then the next release you're back on board, and like it's something that does hit for you. So I think it's important to keep revisiting after, and there have been some bands where after like a few albums I'm like, okay, or it's like such a big sound change where I'm like, no anymore, that's okay. But they expect that, I feel, at that point. But anyway, I am now just rambling. Reaching Out, total like going for the, I guess like they were carrying the song with the mood that it had already set with everything, and then having that breakdown and it being so like atmospheric and everything, just it went for me. So these are two very solid tracks I will be putting on. I need to listen to the rest of the album. I know there's so much stuff that I just still need to listen to. Now I'm making my end of the year list. Like, what has happened? But I've found a lot of really good stuff this year as well, so it's been good. Anyway, I will link both videos that I used in the description of this video, as well as all of Fit for a King's social media, anywhere that you can order the album The Hell We Create, which both of these tracks, of course, were taken from. So yeah, all of that will be in the description of this video, as well as my link tree, which will have the invite for the Discord server, which I mention in every video. We have music-related conversation and channels, upcoming release dates, Last FM stats, merch, threads for merch that's just been released, pictures of your merch, music, you get the idea. A bunch of music channels, a bunch of non-related to music channels, like Pets, which is my favorite channel. We have entertainment for games, movies, video games. I said games twice. I'm struggling here, so I'm gonna wrap it up. You get the point. The community is awesome. I love the people that are in there. If you want to come join, that will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link. I post all music related stuff like merch, what I've been listening to every week. I post a chart of on Friday, sometimes about shows, that sort of stuff. music-related content on my Instagram. My handle is the same as my YouTube channel. It's Rachel Reacts, but again, the link in the description for the link tree will have my Instagram profile. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.